Greetings gastronauts, this is KeefCooks, I'm Keef, and today I'm just going to make a sandwich, okay? Ham, cheese and pickle. Oh, okay, that sounds devastatingly simple, and of course it isn't. What I'm really going to do is an American-Italian sandwich, a muffuletta. I had never heard of this until a couple of months ago when Rick Atkins requested it. So I looked it up and I thought, that'll be fun. Anyway, it's an absolutely humongous, outrageous excuse for stuffing a whole load of stuff in a load of bread. And it's named muffaletta after the bread that is used, which is also known as muffaletta from Sicily. But the muffaletta sandwich was invented at a deli café in New Orleans in 1906, if I recall correctly. So if you enjoy this video, give it a like, share, subscribe, etc. And let's get on with it. Muffuletta. Actually, you should have started this yesterday, so let's whiz back in time. So one of the key ingredients in the olive salad is a thing called giardiniera, which I'd never heard of. It's Italian, means garden, basically. And it's just a simple pickle of crunchy vegetables like carrots, celery, cauliflower, etc. And its exact composition isn't really fixed, it's just what you've got. So this is what I've got. I've got a carrot, a stick of celery, 2 spring onions, about half a yellow capsicum, bell pepper. I thought I had a red one, but I don't. And some green beans, these were actually frozen, and some cauliflower, also previously frozen. So we need to chop all those up into about 1 centimetre chunks. Vinegar. Cheapy distilled vinegar, 1 cup of 250ml, also 250ml of water, and 2 bay leaves, teaspoon of black pepper, teaspoon of fennel seeds, teaspoon of coriander seeds, and a tablespoon of coarse sea salt and a tablespoon of sugar. So yeah, quick pickling. I need this to be done in 1 or 2 hours. So basically chop the pieces small. I'm keeping the veg separate because they'll take different amounts of time to cook. So the carrots are the hardest, they'll take longest, but I mean only like 2 minutes. Then the celery, the spring onions, and the bell pepper won't take long, nor will the green beans and cauliflower, because they were frozen and they are already probably pre-cooked actually. So I start by adding all of the pickling spices and the liquid to the pan. So that's water with possibly a bit of parsley or something in it. And then vinegar, oh my goodness. Come back later. Okay, vinegar stinks. The seeds and the leaves, the salt and the sugar. Whack that on the stove, bring it to boil, and then we'll add the carrots, give those actually 2 minutes, then the celery, give that a minute, then the onion, give that another minute, and the bell pepper, the green beans and the cauliflower. Now, I should have done this before I started. You need to sterilise some jars to put your pickle in. And to do that, you want a pan of boiling water. You put your jars and your lids in and just let them simmer for about 10 minutes. Make sure they're completely submerged in water. And when they're done, take them out using some tongs and invert them on some kitchen paper to dry. Then you can fill in with stuff. Take out the bay leaves. Nobody wants a bay leaf. So I use the fantastic right-handed ladle. My fantastic left hand, because I'm left-handed. Okay, and just enough liquid to come up to the top. Let that chill for an hour or 2. For the olive salad, guess what? You need olives. I've got 2 kinds. I've got pita green olives stuffed with a bit of pimiento, 115 grams of that, and 75 grams of right big olives. Most recipes specify calamata, so half of these are stuffed with pimento as well, but the other half are stuffed with garlic, and oh, they're lovely. I've also got 100 grams of the giardiniera that I made earlier, and 4 little silver skin pickled onions, a couple of cloves of garlic, a squidge of lemon juice, a couple of teaspoons of capers, some olive oil and some pepper, and a teaspoon of oregano. I think that's everything. We need to chop it all up fine in the food processor. I'm mincing the garlic separately because I think the machine will just completely miss it. Right, let's see what we got. Well, what we've got is a load of mush-ish. Well, it's not complete mush. I think it'll be okay. See? I suppose we should taste it. There's so much going on there. So all the recipes for this say you must leave it till the next day, because it improves. It's kind of hard to imagine how it could improve because this is like fantastic. But we'll see. Good night. See you tomorrow. So obviously we're making a sandwich. You will need some bread, and not just any old bread. It's got to be, or it should be, muffaletta bread, which originated in Sicily and is quite easy to get in New Orleans. But outside of those two places, your chances of finding it in a store are somewhat close to zero. So you can either substitute something like focaccia or ciabatta, or make your own. It's not difficult. So to make your own, you will need 400 grams of strong white bread flour, 1 teaspoon of active dried yeast, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 300 ml of lukewarm water. Also, to finish it, a tablespoon of white sesame seeds. This is pretty much like a huge hamburger bun, so you know, should be nice. Mix the dry ingredients together with a spoon or spatula, add the water, and if you're using a stand mixer, put the dough hook on and knead the dough for 10 minutes. Or you could knead it by hand also for 10 minutes on a floured worktop. Now I'll transfer it to a different bowl. I want to put a little bit of oil in there to stop the dough sticking to it. Okay, just roll it around, get it coated in oil all over, and then cover it with plastic film. And put that in a warm place to rise until it's doubled in volume. That'll take an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe. Well, look at this beauty. Nicely risen. And you know what we have to do now, don't you? We have to knock it back, punch all the air out of it, and start all over again. A bit of flour on the worktop, and tip it out. Now we want a baking sheet lined with greaseproof paper, and I'll just sprinkle that with some polenta, or you could use semolina or rice flour. And we pop the dough on and cover it with a clean tea towel and leave it in the warm place to double in volume again. Alright, I reckon it's riz. And also it's spread out. That is actually more spread than ideal, but I can't unspread it now, so we'll just have to live with it. Now what you want to do is sprinkle water and then sprinkle sesame seeds. Now we're going to bake it. It's a 2-stage process. We bake it at a high temperature for 10 minutes, then turn it down to a lower temperature for the remaining time, which will be probably 15 minutes, but we'll see. So if you're using a convection oven or an air fryer, heat it to 200 degrees Celsius, or for a conventional oven, that would be 220, and that's gas 7. After 10 minutes we'll reduce it to 180 Celsius for a fan oven, 200 for a conventional one, and that's gas 6. Okay, it just went beepity beep, so I reckon it's ready. Ooh, there we go. That sounds done. So I'll just pop that on a wire rack. And let it cool down completely before we stuff it with stuff. Okay, this is what I've got to put in my muffuletta sandwich. Basically what you have is 3 different kinds of meat. So that's like a salami, mortadella, cured ham, a couple of different kinds of cheese. I've got cartoon cheese, that's Emmental, and I've actually got mature cheddar, because this is England. The purists would say it should be provolone, which you don't get in England, not even in specialist cheese shops, not often anyway. So, no. Decorative olives, they're not going in the sandwich. But this is. And this is a crucial component, is an olive salad, which, well, if it hasn't got that, you can't even begin to call it a muffaletta. And some olive oil to lubricate the bread with. So, quantities, a lot. I don't know if I'll use all that. I might not. So the meat, the salami I've got is from Milan. It's supposed to be from Genoa, but I've never seen that. The mortadella is from Genoa, and it's got pistachios in it. I don't know why. And this is English honey roast ham. Proper prosciutto would be the thing, but oh dear, I've spent a fortune on this. You wouldn't believe it. This has cost more than like fillet steak, but I'm sure it'll be worth it for a big old ham and cheese butty. Right, I'm going to assemble the sandwich, the muffaletta. So I need to slice my bread in half horizontally. Go back in a bit, I don't want to rush this. Woo! Some people do say, you know, scoop out some of the bread from the middle so you've got more room for your filling. I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to give it a good old drizzle of olive oil and a generous layer of the olive salad. Nice and thick, right up to the edge. Well, goodness me, I didn't expect to use all of that, but hey, I did. Right, mortadella. Again, get this right up to the edge. And salami. I've got a few slices left over, half a dozen maybe. And now the ham. Okay, I want to put some mustard on that, but it's not part of the thing, so I won't. But I will put cheese on it. Cheddar and Emmental. This is going to be so wonderful. But there's a terrible, terrible thing that has to happen before I can try it, is I have to wrap it in plastic film and leave it in the fridge for at least an hour for all the juices to soak in. Okay, one chilled butty, and before I cut it open, I'm going to weigh it because well, I just want to know. 1.7 kilos. Ooh yeah. Right then. Are we ready? Oh my. Oh, look at that. Is that fantastic or what? Ooh. And now it's taste test time with me. And I don't know, because I've only got a little gob, but we'll try. Oh yeah, you have to do I. I don't think I actually got any meat in that first bite. Okay, that's our food sorted for the week. So, muffaletta sandwich, give it a go. Good fun and completely balmy. So, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching and see you next time.